Hi guys, quick video. I picked this up in Lidl's last week, I think it was, last weekend. Now this is interesting, LED torch with built-in power bank. So it's basically a standard LED torch. I believe it's got various modes, but they're also saying you can use it to charge your phone. Now we've seen power banks with a sort of built-in light on them. So this is a example. This is one I got at Aldi's, I think, and I think double press, got a built-in light there. So that's a power bank with a built-in light on it. This on the other hand is a actual proper torch as such with a built-in power bank. So interesting concept. So 2,200 milliamp hours they're claiming. We will test that, of course. It's got the usual branding they use for the lights, so Livarno Lux, I think how you pronounce it. So we got our battery there, charging lead there, and it comes with a little car charger adapter, which is kind of nice, but yeah, it's not the smallest one of them I've seen. So some specs on it. So 3 watt Cree LED, so they are saying it is actually Cree. So 3 light settings, maximum brightness, economy mode, and SOS signal. So we got shock and splash proof housing to IP44. That's good, so includes that, and charger, etc. LED cannot be replaced. Yeah, that would make sense. Although I'm pretty sure we could find a way around that. So let's get these scissors and see if we can get this package open. It's certainly an interesting concept to do a torch and have the option of using it as a power bank. I've not seen that done in anything else yet. I'm sure they're not the first. I'm sure that these are available. I've just not actually come across them yet. Let me know in the comments if any of you guys have. So, some instructions and the torch unit itself. So I'll have a look at that. Not going to be anything much in here. Probably just going to say must charge fully before use. Blah 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 blah. So output power 5 volts 2.1 amps, charging at 1 amp. Light output approximately 120 lumens, that's not too bad. Yeah, protection class IP44 is only with cover, so yeah, it's got a little rubber cover on it, as we shall see. So we get a little car charger. Yeah, there's no weight to that at all. Little USB, micro USB to standard, so that's fine. And so this is the torch. Okay, so we got a little rubber cap over the end that you can take on and off. So top looks reasonably nice. It's not rubberized, it's just got that kind of sort of pattern on the metal to add a little bit of grip there. So we got 1x 4x zoom. So how does that zoom thing work then? Normally they would either twist or move up and down. That one doesn't seem to do much at all. I don't know how that works, because that's just get battery in. So then on the back of it we've got a little power button there, so that must be the power for the thing, charging in, and then output there for the charging your cell phone or something like that. So I'll take the back off. So there's the back part. All the circuitry is sort of contained within the sort of switch mechanism. Got our sort of barrel housing there. Oh yeah, so that is the zoom feature, is a kind of twist sort of thing. Can we get the front off? That's just a metal ring there. And it looks like our reflector there. That's a plastic reflector. And then this is our sort of LED board tucked down here. I don't know if that would actually come out or not. You probably could get it out if need be. I expect you'd want to don't know if it probably just glued in or something. But the LED chip is very small, quite a small chip. So we'll pop that back in again. So that wants to go that way round. screw that back on again. Alright, so this is the battery. The voltage at full charge and cut-off voltage is 4.2 and 2.5. Okay, so is that protected then? I think that might actually be a protected cell. It does feel like it's got the extra board in there, so that probably is slightly longer than a standard 18650. Let me just go and find one. Alright, so here's another 18650. This is a Sony one I use on the E6. This hasn't got any protection at all. And yeah, comparing it side by side, there is quite a big difference there on length. So I don't know if a standard one would work in this then. It depends how much yeah, that would be fine. You got enough spring pressure, I think, there to push in on that. Yeah, I don't like this switch system so much. And funny enough, no, it doesn't actually work. Well, why would that be then? No, nothing on that at all. So that's interesting. I don't know if we're missing a something on this. So yeah, we'll chuck this one in. Maybe there is something specific about this type of battery, or it just isn't making good enough contact, because there isn't much. Yeah, it's kind of that spring there. It's got a bit of springiness to it, but it is recessed inside there. So we'll try it with the one supplied. No, let's have a look. No, nothing on that one either. So we got a dud. Interesting. Let's consult the instructions and just see what that says. Is there something we are doing wrong? I can't imagine so, but you never know. So how do we turn the thing on? Pushed it on off button. Yep. Yeah, so that's fine. So we shouldn't be doing anything wrong there. Is there any? They haven't put the battery in the wrong way round, have they? I don't know. Oh, they have. Would you believe it? So yeah, they actually want the negative to actually be at the end for the where the LED is, at the torch sort of head area. So that's unusual. It's not common. That's something that obviously you can catch you out. It certainly caught me out there. So let's go back and try this Sony one again then, and see how we get on with that. Hopefully it's got enough built-in protection to prevent any issues. So nothing on that battery, which is probably to be expected. I'm not too worried about that. So let's go and try this one. So yes, we've got the negative side there. Pop that on. We got a little green light lit up there, so yep, we're alive. Okay, so it looks like trying to use a normal size 18650 is not going to work. So if you are buying one of these and you need to change the battery, then it's going to have to be a battery built-in protection. So that, I believe, is maximum brightness, so we can twist that in and out to zoom. So that's not very, that's probably about 30 centimeters off the table, and then if we sort of zoom in, again about 30 centimeters above the table, and yeah, that's kind of the beam patterns. That's not too bad, gives us sort of good size beams. So that's our dim mode, and that's SOS, and that's off. So I think it's just the three modes, so full brightness, low brightness, SOS and off. So what we can't do with this by the looks of it then is put it into low setting and then turn it off and get it to come back at that setting. You've got to actually cycle through, so you've got to go once, twice, SOS and off. So that is a shame. It would be nicer if there was a way to have it sort of save its previous setting. So we can't do that, so never mind. It's just interesting that the like I say, the battery does go in negative facing towards the head of the torch, so bear that in mind. That caught me out there. And yeah, like I say, you have to go for all the different modes to turn it off, which is a bit of a shame. And then like I say, we got our 2.1 amp output there for charging stuff, and our 5 volt input there for charging as well. And your little rubber protector on the back. I wouldn't say it's super tight fit, so yeah, I wouldn't necessarily drop it in water at all, but I expect it would probably be okay for getting splashed, is what it sort of says. And I like a lot of these things with the zoom ring, that kind of inhibits how waterproof something actually is. If you've got it fully closed, that might seal enough there to prevent the ingress of water, but if you've got it open a bit, it's going to have a bit of a gap then around for water to get in. So yeah, not a fully waterproof torch by any means. Having that power button behind there is a little bit annoying, that you can feel it as a slight sort of raised area, but it's not, you know, immediately where is it sort of thing. You've got to kind of feel for it and then you can turn it on. So we'll just check to see if this works for charging. So we've got our lead supplied, plug it into there and plug it into the power bank. Turn that on. Do we get any indicators? Very, very faint red light there. It's actually showing up better on camera than it is for me. It's as if the LED is actually misaligned. Is it misaligned? It's not quite perfect alignment with the actual hole there, but yes, a slight sort of charging indicator there, but not very bright at all. So just swap that around and try and charge the power bank from that. And yep, that's flashing to say that's receiving a charge. What do we get on here? Just green indicator now on the torch itself. So that seems to be working. Okay, so we're just going to charge this device up now. I've currently got it connected to the power supply, supplying 12.5 volts to kind of simulate what you might expect from your car. Obviously, if you haven't got the engine running, you're going to get sort of 12 or under volts off your cigarette lighter / power sockets. If you've got the engine running, you might get sort of 13.5. So I'm just going with 12.5 because that's just above what it should be operating at. The power supply itself, it's currently supplying 475 milliamps approximately, and you can see here that the voltage supplied to the power monitor is 4.94, so just under 5 volts. That does go up above 5 volts when you've not actually got the torch connected to it. We're currently drawing an amp, so that's pretty consistent, that's good. Currently 80 milliamps has gone in, and as you saw earlier, we're only about 3-4 minutes into charging. Now, I did let the torch run down until it would not let me power anything using it as a power bank. It just sort of kept pulsing the output. However, the light was still staying on, albeit a bit dimmer. I've ran it for a good sort of 2-3 hours with just the torch operating at its sort of full brightness, which obviously was dimmed because of the reduced voltage, but it didn't actually cut off. The lowest I managed to measure the cell at was around just over 2.5 volts, and that should cut off at 2.5 volts. So whether or not it does is questionable. I would imagine it probably will do, but it has to sort of get to exactly 2.5 or just below. Because it just runs the LED so dimly, it just carries on forever. We'll probably have to take sort of well over 24 hours to get it to drain below that. When I started charging, I started at about 2.7 volts because the cell had had chance to just sort of recover a bit of its energy there. So we're doing a sort of what would be a standard test when it sort of got really quite dim and we need to recharge it. We'll see how long this actually takes to recharge. I'll switch that over to time mode. So we can see we're now 6 minutes and 30 seconds in, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so I've just come to check on it, see how it's getting on, and it's stopped drawing any current, so that's a good sign. So looking at this, we've got total time 2 hours 39 7 seconds, so I'm guessing that should have stopped at the point it stopped drawing current. I'm actually quite surprised at that, because often a lot of these power banks, because they have a lot of LEDs in them, will sort of continue to draw a small amount of current, which doesn't make it very helpful for a device like this, because of course it will drop the amount of current it's actually drawing, but will continue to draw a small amount, so the time and milliamp hours will continue to increase. So total power is 9.429 watt hours, and we can see here the total capacity that has been sort of given to the torch, so the total amount it's actually drawn is 1882 milliamp hours, so 1.882 amp hours, as we can see there. So the next test now is going to be to fully discharge this. What I'll do is I've discharged one of my other power banks, and I will do the same thing with this, get it to basically take its charge out of here, dump it into another power bank, and we'll monitor it on this and see how we get on. Alright, so I've got the other power bank, so this is fully discharged. The light comes on there, it does this. It's kind of weird feature, it's like when it loses power completely it just turns the light on, which is a bit stupid. So we'll plug in our lead, so we're connected up to our portable energy monitor, so now we'll just simply connect into the torch, like so, and we'll see what we're getting here. So we're getting close to an amp there. It's being drawn out of it, so there's our counter. See how we get on with that one. Okay, so I've just had to basically take the footage off the SD card, put it on the computer and come back to it again with a clean SD card. So you can see here we're up to 826 milliamps and 50 minutes there. So I haven't, I basically, when I changed it over, I just disconnected the power monitor and battery bank that's being charged from the torch / power bank, so nothing's been drawn off the torch, so we're just carrying on from where we left off. Okay, so once again, just come in to check it, and it has stopped. So stopped at 1 hour and 20 minutes 45 seconds. So what have we drawn from it? 6.224 watt hours and 1286 milliamp hours, so 1.28 amp hours. So what can we tell from that, really? As with all these things, it's difficult to say if the battery itself inside is truly what it says it is. What was it, 2200? We certainly haven't got anything like that out of it. Neither have we managed to put that much back into it again. However, of course, this is the first full charge and full discharge of the unit. It will take a few charges before it sort of picks up to its nominal capacity. Also, of course, we've got the fact that we're not just measuring directly from the battery. We are taking into account that we've got a boost converter in here to give us the 5 volts, so that's going to have a certain amount of losses involved in it. This seems to be the way these things are, really. You just take what they actually say they can provide with a pinch of salt. But it will certainly do the job. How much charge have we got in this now? Just disconnect that. So we've got 2 bars of charge in that. So this is a 7800 milliamp hour battery pack. Again, doesn't hold that much. I think I measured it about 4 or 5. So yeah, you could probably get a fair bit of charge into your phone from using that, and I think in a way the kind of market this is aimed for is, I mean, they sort of say it's for home use sort of thing, but they give you a car charger, so that makes sense. You take it in your car, why not take it out camping? You know, you go out camping, something like that. You want your torch, but you're also running a bit low on power on your phone. Compromise between the two, you can have a bit of power for your phone and use the torch. And that does bring me on to the final point. Yes, you can charge it and use a torch, and you can have power drawn from this, so charging another device, and you can still use the torch as well. So it doesn't disable the LED when you're charging or discharging, so that's a good thing. I guess the only bad thing is the power button. I wish they had some kind of other system, but apart from putting it on the side somewhere, you know, that I suppose that would make more sense if you had, like the through night torches do, have a sort of power button on the side for the actual turning the light on and off, rather than having this stupid tiny little power button here, which, to be frank, although I said you can feel it, it just really is just really annoying. And you can see we're still getting some light out of that, even though it's shut off its charging. Well, I hope you found that video useful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, that helps massively. And if you're not already subscribed, then please do subscribe. And there's also a link to my Patreon account below, if you'd like to support me in being able to get new products like this to show and take apart, etc. Then follow the link below to my Patreon account. See you soon for the next video. Cheers.